What's going on, YouTube homies? My name is Leo Coys. I'm joined by Parker and my homie Kyle from Milwaukee Spurs. How's everybody doing out there?
See you later, Parker.
Yo, what's going on, my homie? I couldn't hear you.
Parker's got audio issues. He'll be back in a second. I think. I hope. Unless you're you're down to let the from the asylum.
Yeah, it's only fitting that our first stream back, and if there wasn't any type of technical difficulties, it wouldn't be a proper stream, right? So that's only one way to start it off. So big up. But yes, he's back here. Let's see. Parker, what's going on? Can you hear us, my homie?
Yes, I can. How you guys doing? Sorry, everything sounded like a robot, so I was like, I just have to get out of here and restart it. So, but hopefully I didn't miss anything.
Oh no, we just did the whole show. We were just about to wrap it up. Kyle, any last thoughts?
See you guys later. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs. Yeah. Yo, my homie. So, nah, man. I was just saying, it wouldn't be a first stream back if it wasn't for some technical difficulties. But look, guys, let's get straight into things. How's everybody doing? Kyle, since you are the guest, I'll start with you, and then I'll go with Parker. Kyle, how you been, man? It's been a while since we've seen you. Everything's been going on with Tottenham. How you doing, real quick? Everything in a nutshell.
I'm feeling pretty good. Since the last time I've been on the pod, I'm no longer the secretary over at Milwaukee Spurs. I'm the president. Hey there, hi there, holder. How you going? We got a big year for us, which is really exciting. Got some new faces coming around. I've created an unofficial slogan because we already have an unofficial slogan, which is "Win or lose, we booze." But I've been telling people since we started a new tradition around the pub, which is our little halftime team talk, where I try and figure out who's new faces around the pub, introduce them, ask them where they're from, deride them in front of the entire crowd a little bit, give them a little scrawny charm. But what I've been telling people is to put on your smiling faces and throw out your social graces, because there's only one thing you do when you watch Tottenham at 6:30 in the morning in Milwaukee, and that's get into them.
That's right.
We got a new logo as well. We got new merchandise coming out, hopefully by the end of the month. I want to do seasonal merch drops, start an online store so we can get it shipped out across the world. It's a big time to be invested into Milwaukee Hotspur.
Yeah. Nice. Well, we'll definitely chat more about that as the time comes along. Parker, what's up for you, my man? We just actually filmed Parker's pitch yesterday, so if you guys have not caught that, make sure you go and drop a like on for Parker's video that we did, and also while you're here, drop a like down in for this video, and definitely subscribe if you haven't. Parker, what's going on, my homie? What's been new with you, bro? Anything you want to add before we start cooking?
Yeah, it's been a while since we've gone live, but yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be talking about Spurs again. So it's going to be an exciting season, I think. But there's probably going to be a lot of ups and downs, like it always is. So we'll see about that. But I mean, we've already had an up and down transfer window with Harry Kane. It's been a roller coaster. So kind of ready to be over that and just ready to just be more stable, right? I want some wins, and so yeah. Doing good.
Good. Let's see. Josh came in and said, "Big up, lads." This is the same homie from Spurs Live. Definitely get over and check out Spurs Live. He just says, "Big up." Then we have the homie Brian Daigle. What's up, Brian Daigle? Big up everyone in the chat and on the screen. Big up, Leo, and happy birthday for the other day. Appreciate you, bro. Yes, my birthday was just the other day, Kyle. In case you forgot to call me like you forgot to call me. I'm just kidding, bro.
Rat bastard. Okay. Happy late or belated. I don't know what it is.
You're good, bro. And as always, Levy out. Yeah, so.
Sir, yes, sir.
So.
Out of there.
Parker, I know you, my homie, have been real critical of our last, and it's no secret. I mean, it's public footage, you right? You were one of the first ones to start saying Conte out last season, right? And
Oh
you've been
yeah.
critical. Yeah, and you were critical of like the way we played and stuff. So I'm gonna go with you first, bro. Now that you see Ange's, now that we're starting to see somewhat little bit, yeah. So you see little, bits and pieces of what what can we can expect, bro. How do you
Yeah.
feel?
It's it's a relief, really. It is. It's a sigh of relief because we've all known what Conte's been like. I mean, even before he came to Spurs, he was like that. The Chelsea fans hated watching their games. It was so boring. They just sat back. It wasn't very exciting football, and I mean, we got to see that firsthand. And now that we have somebody with have a lot of possession now. Just we have a lot of pressing, and although the offense right now hasn't been what we want it to be yet, but we have some time. So I think the offense
Yeah.
will eventually click. It'll take a little bit of time, but I think there's a lot that I think about our front three, but we'll go into that later. But as far as Ange ball goes, I really like it. It's high intensity pressure. I love it. And we're going to see a lot of goals this season, so it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, Josh, if you want to hop on, bro. Yeah, there you go. I think he's seen it, so that's what's up. We'll have Josh Parker. I don't think you met Josh yet, but he's the homie from Spurs Live. Kyle,
I
I'll
know him.
pose the same question to you. How have you been? Well, first, were you really that bummed out with the way we were playing football underneath Conte? You know what I mean? So now that when we get a coach like Postecoglou, a complete 180, how does that, how do you feel, bro, watching football now? You're not falling asleep.
Well, I had a lot of things to do at the pub when I was watching matches under Conte. So I never really got to watch all of the matches because I had to keep up with the socials from Milwaukee Spurs and I had to take videos and pictures.
Yeah.
So I was distracted a lot of the time. But if you follow us on socials, I posted barely anything from the match on Sunday because I was fully into it. We take
Yeah.
more shots in 90 minutes, Tottenham does, than Milwaukee Tottenham does. And we drink Tully like it's water. It's
Nice.
I could not exaggerate how much I enjoyed watching that game, even though we drew. I mean, questions got to be asked about some of the decisions that Vicario and Son made, but I mean, the penalty was tough. It was soft as silk, but it is what it is. Can't go back and
You
change.
want our guys to be a little
Mhm.
bit aggressive, right? Like we don't want them to be soft. So it's not like he was too harsh or too soft. I mean, he did what he should have
Yeah.
done, right? It just
Yeah, it's just
Things
the way
happen.
it shakes out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we're going to have a very fun season. I think even if we lose games, I think I don't know about you guys, but I've been calling him dad because he's built like a dad and he does kind of look a little bit like my dad. So Big Ange,
Ange, yeah.
Big
Yeah, Big
Ange
Ange.
is
Yeah.
he's cooking up something
Big up.
spectacular. And I feel like if we can get a player in who's a little bit more on the front foot and onside, unlike Richarlison, I feel like we could have a really big year in terms of maybe a little
Yeah.
cup action, maybe finishing Champions League spots. It's going to be tough with how other teams have strengthened, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of our players already were built for that high intensity style of play.
Yeah. Well, real quick, we'll bring Josh into the mix. Josh, what's up, my man? Long time since we've seen each other, bro. First, I'll introduce you to Parker. I guess he would be up here. That's the other half
you're
of
good.
Maha Hotspur. This is our good friend Kyle from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And this is Josh. Josh, how you doing, bro?
All good, all good. Obviously, it's quite late out here for me in England here. You know,
Yeah.
when I saw you, Leo, you Mile Highs live on YouTube, I was like, gotta hop on,
Yeah.
got to hop on, see what's happening. Now, but all good, all good. I gotta say, you know, new season, a little bit more exciting. Hope FC is back. You know, why not? But we're back. We're back. We're still hoping we can win a trophy, hoping we can do stuff. But look, it's gonna be an exciting season, and yeah, good stuff, lads.
We're always Hope FC in
Nice.
the first game at least. It just until
Yeah.
once October comes,
We've
then
been
we
Hope
start.
FC for the past 5 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about the first game just a little bit. We'll barely touch on it, each one of us, but it was definitely a good opponent to come up against. Brentford was got rid of a couple key players themselves. They were a team that kind of was battling the same positions we were last season, right? They were kind of going for that 7, 6, even fifth spot at one point. And now we faced them on our first game. We looked good. We were able to control a lot of the ball throughout the whole game. We had a really good possession, and so let's hope that's able to translate over to an opponent, in the size of Manchester United. And if we're able to run the midfield and boss it how we did, then I think the game this weekend will be in our favor for sure. So Parker, I'll jump to you first, my homie.
Yeah.
So when you were watching the game, what's one thing that stood out to you? Just off the bat, what one thing that stood out to you, and one thing that you think that benefits us going into the game against Manchester United this weekend?
Well, I'll say right away. I think starting off against Brentford away is actually a good fixture for us because it's not an easy place to go, right? So it'll keep our intensity up a little bit, and I think we'll be ready for Manchester United this weekend at home. So because I mean it is really
Yeah.
hard to go to play at Brentford. I think they only had like 2 losses all year last year there, so it is a tough place to go. The people that stood out for me, obviously, for me, it was Madison, right? He was always just like right there asking for the pass, asking, people for the ball, wanting to pass it to people.
Yeah.
He just seemed like he was kind of, running the show a little bit. Then obviously we had Basuma in the back, and he just has, ice in his veins. Like he's just so smooth. Can just like get around people and pass it wherever he wants. So I think our midfield right now is looking pretty good. I think Skipp maybe a little underwhelming, but maybe we can get somebody else in there next weekend or this weekend. Because I know Hojbjerg was on the bench too.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Hopefully he's
That's
gone by the weekend.
yeah, possibly. It's just the Skipp, position that's up in the air for me. But other than that, I think our midfield was pretty good. Then I just think we need to create more, and give a little bit more to Richarlison, So that's what I think.
Josh, do you think just kind of like how Parker was talking about Skippy's position, do you think that Skippy's position, or do you think maybe Sarr might be knocking on that door, or maybe even a Højbjerg to take that over? From what you've seen in the first game and what we've seen in the preseason, and the rumors going around, there's links with Højbjerg, links with Ndombele, so that midfield's getting a little weaker. It might get a little weaker than it is already. But who right now, who do you think's the outright runner for that position? That number 8 on that side, and who would you like to see run the midfield this weekend?
First of all, I think Højbjerg should be nowhere near the team. If a player is linked out of the club, if a player is linked out of the club, he should not be anywhere near the team. Don't distract the team. Just like Harry Kane, basically, although he was close to the team, he's out of the team now. I think the number 8 spot right now currently is with Skippy, but I think Sarr should take it for the United game. But again, I said this on my stream, it depends on who the fullbacks are, because the midfield really does rely on the fullbacks. If we decide to play, I'm talking about the right back, if we decide to play Emerson Royal as a right back, okay, it is essentially as an inverted right back, inverted fullback, then we can allow a more of an attacking centre mid such as Sarr to play over Skipp. But if we got Poro on the right back, we're gonna have to use Skippy for more defensive midfielder. So it's more to do with who that fullback is. You remember, Destiny Udogie is such an attacking fullback that yes, we are relying on his speed to come back to get the ball, but not all the time he'll be able. So that whoever's on that left side of that midfield, whether it'll be Basuma, whether it'll be Sarr or Skipp, they'll have to go cover for Udogie. And we can't have two attacking fullbacks. We can't have both Udogie and Paul on the pitch. It cannot happen. So I think that 8 position is really reliant on the fullbacks. Personally, I would go for Pape Matar Sarr 100%. I think Skippy offers us a more defensive, solid midfield, but I want a more of an attacking, more of a creative midfield, in my opinion.
Huh. Anything you want to add to that, bro?
I don't know. I do like what Josh said, where you have to play them in pairs if you're going to play Porro or Royale, because Pedro Porro is pretty good, but God, is he a shite defender? He fucking stinks it up. He honks out there.
He's worse.
It's rough. I don't know. I trust that. I trust in both Sarr and Skipp. It's just who they're playing with, because it's why I almost wish that Højbjerg wasn't going, or we were linked to another quality center midfielder, someone like. I mean, I know he's not coming, but Romeo Lavio from Saints or Amadou Onana from Everton, I feel like would play those roles kind of well. Onana a little bit more defensive, but just somebody who can progress the ball and defend, which is Basuma is incredible. Basuma, just watching that little 2-minute highlight video that everybody saw on Twitter, he reminds me so much of Moussa Dembele. It almost brought a tear to my eye. He is good. He is really good. And I truly believe that if we play a midfield 2 with him and Sarr, we might score 17 goals against United. But the thing about watching Sarr and Basuma both play is that I truly believe that Antonio Conte needs to be locked up and thrown in jail. Because I think Pape Sarr played about 48 minutes of football in the Premier League. And watching him play, at least in the preseason and some cameos he's made, he's going to be a top player. And lock him up. Put him away. He needs to go.
It's our 3rd season in a row with a new manager, so I'm really hoping we have some stability coming up, So, and these weren't all Ange players, that he had. So, I mean, he didn't pick these players, is what I'm saying. He's kind of
It's gonna take time, dude. You know what I mean? Regardless of what type of process we decide to stick to, it's gonna take time. We can't just snap our fingers. This isn't FIFA career mode where we could simulate the season, right? And try and get the transfers that we want all done in one season. So the good thing is it's. Antonio Conte did get it really wrong with Basuma. We're not the only people that think that. I'm pretty sure, throughout the whole Tottenham community, a lot of people, are under the understanding that Antonio Conte got it really wrong. So yeah, Kyle, with that I agree. And not only that, my homies, we still have to add Bentancur into the mix if and when he comes back and he gets healthy. You know what I mean? We were talking about this yesterday with Jacob and United Spurs of America. It could be until next season that we start to see Bentancur at his finest, right? Because his injury was a tough one, and yet he might be on track to come back in October or something like that. But by the time he starts playing, getting rhythm, finding his boots, on form, that might even be until preseason of next year, right? God forbid that's how it goes down, but we just have to remember that. But if and when the day comes, you guys, we're gonna have a bossed up fucking midfield with Basuma, Bentancur, and
Madison.
Oh, fuck, why am I free? And Madison. Yeah, and Madison.
Yeah, but Leo,
for one of the best midfield 3s in the country.
Yeah, if you think about it, a fit Bentancur, a Basuma, and a Madison, that's a 3-headed monster right there.
I think we're pushing it a bit too much. I think we're pushing it a bit too much. I mean, the best midfield in the country.
I'd say it's pushing
it can be. It could be, but we also said that about our attackers. We said that we have one of the best attackers in the league. I mean, Human, Son, Kane, Kulusevski. That's nah. But look, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Look,
Arguably, you can make an argument for you know what I mean.
yeah,
There's arguments to be made
there
for
is an
sure, for
argument.
sure.
There is an
Yeah,
argument,
yeah.
but then as
But
much
to
as
say
we're
outright the
strengthening,
best, then yeah,
we're strengthening, you got to remember Liverpool, Chelsea, United, City. They're
yeah,
also strengthening. And now,
yeah.
I take a different
Yeah.
positive from this though. I don't say, oh, maybe we're the best. I take a positivity saying, okay, Bentancur doesn't get back into that midfield easily. He is not. I still, in my opinion, if Bentancur is fully fit, I don't think he gets into that midfield that easily. I think
Yeah.
each player in that
Yeah.
midfield has to fight for their role, and that's the blessing that we've got. Is
That's
that
what you want.
each player in
Yeah.
that midfield needs to literally fight for his place. You know, we can remember when Højbjerg a couple seasons ago would just instantly be first name on the sheet in that team, and it was like, hang on a second. I mean, when Hugo Lloris was out, right, with that injury, and Forster was in goal, and then after, as soon as Hugo Lloris was back, bang, he was in the net. I was like, man, come on, what are you doing? You can't just put the goalkeeper back in there. What? So what? Forster's worked for 3 weeks non-stop just for you to come take his place. I think with regards to the midfield, you got to remember that each one is a complete different type of midfielder. That's why we're getting rid of Højbjerg. Each one's a complete different type of midfielder, and Ange likes that attacking side of midfielder, and he's got various options to choose from. So look, in terms of long-term future, we've got a very successful midfield, but is it the top of the top? It's an argument to make. You can say that.
Yeah, we still have, like you said, injuries. Basuma's not going to be back until 2024, and I mean, even if he is prime, I don't know about the top because I mean, look at Chelsea's midfield right now. I just it's actually scary. It's giving me nightmares.
Half the known universe. They're going to have no squad cohesion.
I'm sorry.
Chelsea employ half the known universe. They're gonna have no cohesion between the players because there's so many players there. I think they struggle again unless they sell a million more, unless they money launder more players to Saudi.
Yeah, I mean,
any
Saudi team want any Tottenham players? No. Dyer, no. Sanchez, anyone? No.
Yeah,
it's crazy that we've gone to with nobody being linked to a Saudi club. That's how dog shite we were last year.
Well, I'm hoping Lenglet ends up going to Saudi because I don't want him anywhere near our lineup either. You guys.
Apparently, talks have been collapsed between Saudi and Lenglet, and now he's looking to return to Tottenham.
He's definitely not a world-class center back.
In that left center back role over Clement.
Yeah. So you're right. Big up to you, homie. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comment. If you guys have any comments or any questions for us, definitely put them in the comments. Parker, I'm gonna go with you on this one. Terry Wright wants to know: would you guys start Kulu or Solomon this weekend? Parker, you kick it off.
Oh man, I definitely would start Solomon, man, because Kulu didn't do anything for me this last weekend. He just passed it back, and he just didn't do. He wasn't looking for anything. He was kind of just playing just to get the paycheck almost. I don't know. What did you guys think?
I think it's tough for the wingers to get as involved as they have previously in this Ange system, because Kulusevski played really well with whoever is playing right back for us. They linked very well, and the ball was able to get up to him early so he could pass to Kane and make forward runs. I think once Son and Kulusevski sort of find their role out wide with a little less support, it's either going to be very good or very bad. But Kulusevski had a lot of the ball last weekend. Admittedly, he passed backwards a lot, but we're not trying to move up the wings like we have in previous seasons. We're trying to overload the midfield with our fullbacks coming central so we can get the ball into Madison. I feel like he did a good enough job there. I think what we need more – I think Kulu starts, but I think we need to see a Premier League debut for Tottenham from Solomon because he looked tricky in preseason. I feel like he'd be a very good impact sub in the 70th minute.
Not even that. I want him to start. I mean, all these Premier League clubs are getting starters to play for their club and that are going in and making a big impact. We need to do the same. We can't be having the same club team as we had last year because it's not working. Kulu is not doing what he needs to do. He's very he's very lazy to me, honestly.
I don't think
lazy.
Kulu's the problem though. I don't think Kulu's the problem. I think it's Richarlison who's the problem.
I don't think so at all. Actually,
I think we should start Son. I think you should start Son up front, Kulu on the right, and Solomon on the left. How many more chances do you want to give Richarlison? Honestly, it's mental because I think when Ange.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying when Ange wants a winger to take on its player. Okay, so then you have to think it to yourself. Okay, let's look at the left-hand side. Son, is he taking on his opponent? Is Perisic taking on his opponents? Yes, but can Perisic last? No, we cannot. No. Is Solomon able to take on his opponents? Yes. Can he last? Yes. Okay, now look at the striker, Richarlison. He's not scoring goals. As much as I had this debate with someone on my channel, absolutely pathetic. I understand people who say, yes, Richarlison, give him time. I understand that, but this guy said to me, Richarlison hasn't been given the opportunity to score goals. Last season, he should have gotten at least 3 goals. At least for a striker who comes off the bench 4, 5, 6, 7 times, 10, 15 times he's come off the bench. At least he could have gotten at least 3 goals in there. So in my opinion, I think we should start Solomon on the left, Solomon on the left, Son up front, and Kulu on the right. Perfect.
I really don't blame Richie at all.
A better goal return.
I don't blame Richie. Not saying that he hasn't had the chance to actually make the goals. I just don't think he's been given the service. When you watch him, he's always running. He's always doing what he needs to do. He just isn't given what he needs to do. On the Brazil team, he gets balls wherever he wants it. We're exactly where he wants it, and he can score. But he doesn't get that with us. So he makes the right run.
So that's because it's 2 different systems, though.
We don't have the right service for him right now. And Kulu needs to get out. Son needs to get out. Please. Drop both of them, please.
Yeah.
No, you can't drop
Steak, what's up, Steak?
Yes, sit them. Please, sit them. They have done literally nothing for our club for the last, 6 months.
I agree with you on that.
Nothing. They've done nothing for 6 months. No.
I agree
Why start them?
with you in the fact that both of them, I agree. Both of them haven't done a single thing for our club. You're correct. But the question is, are you your Ange? Do you take off your captain? If you're in Ange's mind, I don't know.
No, I mean he probably won't. But this is what I'm saying I would do because it's yeah, I mean Richarlison can't score goals all by himself, right? He needs help, and if he's not getting the help, he's not going to score anything.
I don't know. Personally, I saw Madders putting a couple balls in there last game. He didn't really do much.
He would have scored if Romero wasn't there. He was literally right next to Romero. If Romero wasn't there,
well, you can't say he was gonna score, but he would have had a chance at goal. Yeah, he would have had a chance at goal.
What I'm saying is putting himself in the right positions, but he's not getting the service. That's all I'm trying to make.
Look, I think a proper. I mean, if for lack of better words, a proper assessment. Let's give it 6 weeks to see how many goals Richarlison has. We'll see how the system is working, and I think maybe after 6 games, another thing we were talking about last night with Jacob. 6 weeks is a good amount of time to say it may not work. Or it's still way early enough to say we're gonna change the system, or we're gonna change something, or we're gonna do something different. Kyle, you've been awfully quiet, bro. Get into this discussion about Richarlison. Is Richarlison a waste? I mean, sorry to throw you into the fire like that, but we have one saying Richarlison's to blame, and we have one saying, hold on, he might not be to blame, right? Let's see how Kyle's gonna break this tiebreaker here.
Well, I mean, Richarlison is a good player, but he has a sickness, right? He is clinically offside. The man, I've never seen him onside once. The last time I saw him onside, I think he was playing in Royal Blue. He is a good player. You see it for Brazil. You see it. But a point that Josh brought up earlier is that you need that competition. I think he gets firing if he's considered a first option, but we need to bring in another center forward before the end of this window. I personally would like Gift Orban because in the highlight videos that I've seen, he has never misplaced a pass. Every shot he has goes in. He dribbles past every player effortlessly. I've never seen him miss a shot before. Albeit, I'm not watching the gang. I ain't. But it sounds like he's pretty good.
Is he
I don't
Belgian,
think he's.
right?
I think so. I know he at one
That's
point played
Belgian
for
league.
Molde, which was Holland's old club. I don't think he's going to be
Holland's
as
old team.
big as Holland.
Oh.
But I feel like even if he gives Richarlison that little push, because he's also pacier than Richarlison, and he's got length, he can get into the box. I mean, also our players are used to putting balls into Kane, and Kane is probably one of, if not the best center forwards all around to ever play the game of football, to ever lace them up. He could pass the ball from anywhere. He always knew where to be. And our players kind of got complacent in that, just fucking hoy it up to Kane and see what he does with it. Richarlison's a different type of player where he needs more service, more direct,
Yeah.
and he can't do a lot of that shit on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think
Yeah.
if we get Orban across the line before the end of the window, I think first game you start him, put Richarlison on the bench, see what he does.
I want to see Madison also link up with Richarlison. I know it hasn't happened yet. It almost happened in the first game, but I think that could be a big, that they could have a good season together, in my opinion. If Richarlison figures it out. So
I agree with you there. I agree with you. I think if Richarlison doesn't drop deep, because that's the problem that he did against Brentford. He dropped deep quite a fair amount to compose the ball, to keep the ball in possession. I didn't like that. If I think Richarlison keeps up front, okay, gives in a little bit of the runs, I think Madison can pick him out. There shouldn't be a problem here. But in my opinion, I think the problem is simply either the service or like I believe, he's just not good enough for this Tottenham side. He just cannot score. And by this whole gift Orban, I'm very skeptical about it, because I'm like, how many times do you go down the route of youngsters? How many times? Because we're doing this with the keeper. I'm not convinced of him, by the way, Vicario. I'm not convinced. We did this with Brian Gill. He did not end up well. We've done this several times with defenders. Sessegnon, Rodon has not ended up well. Now what? We're going to do this with the attacker Gift Orban. What? Just because he scored X amount of goals, and you've seen it on YouTube, which YouTube only shows you the best bits. I just don't. I'm not convinced of him. The one I am completely convinced, and if we're going to splash money, we have to splash the money on him. Is Vlahovic? I think the body is equivalent to Harry Kane. The finishing is not equivalent to Harry Kane, but it's just as good as Harry Kane, and he's a full-on striker. I'm gonna get completely battered here, but I thought at the beginning, I was like, Lukaku could be an option. But then I was like, okay, fine. Inter Lukaku I'll take, but Premier League Lukaku, get out of my club. Don't come anywhere near my club. I don't want you here. So I was like, we need a physical, big striker, proper big striker. I don't want none of these youngsters, Gift Orban or the Balogun Toney. I want a proper striker, and I think Richie, look, as much as faith I want him to succeed at Tottenham. I want him to succeed more than anything. But what can we do? We got him now service. He's got X amount of time to prove to us. He's got until January basically to prove to us. Is he going to be the striker we want? He's got the service. He's got the wingers. He's got everything. He just needs to tap in the goals. That's it. Is he going to do that? Look, it's all up to the Brazilian striker. And by the way, national squad team is completely different. The whole quality and the whole team is different to a club, so you can't really compare to.
Yeah, no, I mean
I
absolutely.
agree. Real quick, guys, I know there's some comments there's some questions in the comments. I've started them. If I haven't showed them yet, just hang in there. We'll definitely try and get into them. As the conversation starts turning that way. So if your question doesn't get popped up yet, just hang in there. Definitely will. I want to say big shout out to the homie Bobby K. We love you here, homie. Alexander Hilton, thank you for joining us. Hotspur, thanks for joining us. Terry Wright, again, thanks for being here. The few of us that are here. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. If you know who the homie Josh is, definitely go over to his channel at Spurs Live for sure. He's doing big things, bro. I remember your channel was, had numbers like we do here, and now you're up above the 1K, bro. You're doing the damn thing. So big up to you. Have you hit 2K
Cheers,
yet?
mate.
Or are you almost there?
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. But we're not
Yeah.
not too much focusing on that. We're just
Yeah.
balancing it a bit.
Yeah, just keep your head down and keep working hard, bro, like you're doing for
Cheers, mate.
sure.
You
I'm
too.
I'm definitely digging it. So yeah, and also too, Milwaukee has some new stuff coming out. So if they're dropping their membership stuff, so definitely when you guys have some time, hit that up right there too. So Alexander Stakes says with Orban, he scored 15 in 16 games. That's what we need, a striker who knows where the back of the net is. Before we move on to a different topic, I'll just go ahead and close it off by saying I don't know, Josh, if our best route would be, and this is my opinion. I don't even think I would entertain a Lukaku coming here. I don't even think I would entertain Vlahovic coming here. I don't think I would entertain a Lautaro Martinez coming here. I think just like the big name coaches, I think the big name striker right now we need to stay away from. We need to stick to young talent that our coach, that our manager is going to want for his system. We necessarily don't need somebody who's going to be a target man. We don't necessarily need a poacher. What we need is a guy who has an engine, a guy that's willing to sacrifice himself a little bit for the good of the team, who's going to be putting in work that Ange needs. Because Harry Kane was dropping way too back like he normally does, right? But that's Ange ball, if we will. That's not what Ange ball really consists of. And who knows? We're all saying Ange ball, Ange ball. He might even come out with brand new tactics this year that might even be totally different than what he played at Celtic, just due to the players that he has here, right? So what we know as Ange ball might be something different now. But I don't think a big name striker suits our team right now. Like for example, going and blowing the whole bag just to go get a striker that is, cost that much. I think that'll just take 2 steps back when we've already taken a couple steps forward.
What type
think
of striker do you
Charles-
think Tottenham Hotspur need?
What kind of striker?
What type of striker do you think
Bro,
Spurs
I don't
need
need.
then?
Yeah, I think we have the striker that we need. I think we can rely on Sonny and we can rely on Richarlison, and I think maybe Dane Scarlett could even get some minutes this year, right? Maybe he won't be loaned out, and there's something in there that Ange likes that he might be able to mold him. He's still young, and then we got this Veliz, right? Alejoveliz, a striker. Let's just be real. None of us know anything about him. We've never really seen him play, but there will be the time that comes when we see him play. And so there's definitely starting to see somewhat of a structure going on there. Go ahead.
I think so. Now that Kane's gone, so we all know Richarlison's like personality, right? He's kind of selfish, right? Like he's kind of like all about me. Like he likes the whole like celebration stuff. Like so now that he's the main man, I really think that he's gonna like exceed in this role. We need to just give him the chance again, and like Josh said, like maybe like in January, then we can finally judge Richarlison on who he is. But now that he's always the starter, well, not always the starter. I didn't mean to say that, but now that he's starting, I think we need to give him a few more games. I think that he wants to be this main man that can just score the goals like Kane was. But last year he didn't really have that chance. But I know he did have 27 appearances and only 1 goal. So like I know what you're saying. I really want him to get that confidence, to be like, okay, I'm the striker of this team. No one else is coming in. I'm going to do this myself.
But
And
Parker, we also need to think to ourselves and each one to themselves. What is their goal for a Richarlison? Because personally, for me, I think 7-8 goals is good. Is good for me. The reason being is because I believe that the whole attacking line, Solomon Perisic, Kulu, and you can even add there Richie. All of them need to get at least 5, 6, 7 goals between them. Now, if by January, in my opinion, I think if by January Richarlison has not hit the 7-8 goal mark, I think he should be sold because it should be spread
That's
out.
fair assessment.
It's just my opinion.
Yeah, no,
because I think
Yeah.
when people say, oh, who do we need to replace Kane with? Who's going to be the next striker? I think you need to think. What do you mean? Who's going to be next striker? Who's going to be the Harry Kane striker? What, the producer plus the finisher? Or do you mean who's going to be the finisher? Or do you mean who's the producer? Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah,
aspects
yeah.
of who you want to replace Harry Kane with.
See, and that's just it. Are you trying to replace a player to kind of fill up that squad, that position in the squad, or are you trying to replace 30 goals? Right? That's a different question there, because you're not going to replace the 30 goals with any player besides Harry Kane himself. But that's why I'm saying we have the players we have in the squad. They're going to have to all burden some of the weight, and we're going to have at least five players in double digit goals, right? That would be ideal, right? We have 5 players. Let's say we have Solomon with maybe 8, 9. I'll go far and say maybe 10 goals possible. Sonny with 10 goals. Let's hope Kulu could get 10 goals. Richarlison definitely needs to get 10 goals. And I mean, who
And
knows? You know, another midfielder,
Madders, I believe he can get 10 out of 10.
With 10 goals. Yeah, for sure. Right. We have plenty of players playing that can definitely score 10 goals that didn't score 10 goals last season, or that are just coming to our team. So yeah, that's why I think we don't necessarily have to blow the whole bag on a Vlahovic or somebody like that, right? I think we have players in-house that we can rely on. We'll spread the ball around and get goals from all over, not just 30 goals from Harry Kane, which is going to be hard. It's easier said than done, right? Because that's just how it is. But yeah, our team's just got to step it up. Sonny's known for scoring a lot of goals, so he'll be okay on that part. But let's see here what Terry Wright says. He says Scarlett might be ready to contribute next season. He needs a good loan this season. So that's a good comment right there. Kyle, what do you think, bro?
He needs a Premier League.
Go ahead and chime in on this.
He needs. It's what I said about players like Harvey White, even Joe Rodon. Like, all of these players who we had on loan, they weren't like substantial loans. When you look at how other clubs do their loan business, you look at Chelsea with like Conor Gallagher, Billy Gilmore. They put them in the Premier League. I think I said it on Twitter a million years ago at this point, that I would love to see Dane Scarlett at a club like Luton or Sheffield. Like, put him in a big box house, a shithole ground in the middle of the country, have him grit his teeth against actual Premier League defenders, probably get relegated, but he needs the experience in the Premier League. Like, we could Jed Spence. Jed Spence went out on loan to France, and he sort of lit it up, but for only a little bit of time. Like, I saw his first 2 games, and he did well, and then I heard nothing about him the rest of his loan spell. Like, we need these players staying in England and playing against top teams. Even I'd have players go to a team like Rangers or Celtic over a team in the Championship or a team in League One. Like, I want loaning Brian Hill back to Sevilla did nothing for his development if we wanted him to play. I think that all of that loan shit last year was just to get the maximum amount of value from a sell-on fee. I feel like the club gave up on a lot of players. Gio Lo Celso is the only one who came back from loan and looked halfway decent. I mean, Joe Rodon just signed for Leeds, which I feel like could be a decent move, but I don't think he's ever going to get into the squad.
I think so too, bro. I agree.
Like, we're not giving these players the opportunity to grow. We're giving these players the opportunity to, like, hey, you just came from the Championship. Go straight back, big fella. Good luck. When they should be getting, because we could find a club. We could absolutely find a club for Dane Scarlett. Like, who needs a striker? We could fucking send him to Everton. They're blank. God, they stink. Send him to Wolves. Like, there are so many teams who is absolutely shite who could do with some of our young players to give them a spark, at least off the bench, get them training in and amongst the first team at a Premier League club, as opposed to, like, go spend 6 months in Rennes, you big donkey. Like, Uh, like we had to release Matt
I
Doherty's
just
contract. We got no fee from Matt Doherty. We just fucking straight up canceled his contract because
just gave him away.
we had too many international loans. We couldn't
Yep.
loan him to Atletico.
Yeah. Yeah. Josh did send me a message. Josh did send me a message backstage and told me he had to leave, but I thought that was Parker telling me he had to leave in 2 minutes. So I didn't even give him any time to plug his show. But you guys head over to Josh. I will definitely add his info. If you watch this on replay, it'll be in the description. But if not, definitely head over to Josh at Spurs Live. And Parker is having internet difficulties. He must be hooked up to Bobby K's Wi-Fi over there, full of maple syrup and lagging. Big up, big up. Let's see here. We have. Well, first of all, talking about that, he's Bobby K says defense first, Tapsoba, end of. Yeah, so he's saying fuck the rest of this nonsense. We need to nip that shit in the ass, and we need to go straight for the defense, and we need to bring Tapsoba in, and then we could start thinking about maybe getting somebody up front. And I totally agree with this logic here. We need to get somebody in defense. Kyle, when you watched the game, how did you see vandeven had only been in with us like less than a week, right? Had a couple of practices under his belt, but first impressions, what did you think about vandeven and Romero together?
Mickey vandeven looks so fucking good. Like, obviously he's what, 21, 22? But he
He's
looks
young.
like a seasoned Premier League defender. Obviously he's young, he's going to make some mistakes, but he has all the markings of an absolute Rolls Royce defender. Like, he could be so good. I think if Cootie doesn't go off, I think we win that game 2-1. But just on a whole, the defense is still shaky. I put a tweet out on the Milwaukee Spurs account yesterday that I think Davinson Sanchez should stay because he is – this is going to sound weird. He is not a good defender. But he's not a good defender in these, like, sit back, park the bus systems that we've had for the past, 4 years? I mean, he's going on year 7 at Spurs, I think. But he was really good as a young player paired with either Toby or Yan. And because we were playing a forward defense, like on the front foot, aggressive, high line type of stuff. And that's what he does best.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing when we signed him, he was scoring bicycle kicks for Ajax. I don't think I've seen him in the box in 4 years. Like, he could be I don't think he'll ever reach the heights that we thought he was when he first signed. I think that ship is long sailed. But I look at a player like Ben Davies, who's been here, I think, 10 years now. I think we signed him and Vorm in the same window in 2013. He could fill that type of role where he's a utility man along the back line, and he comes in when we need it, and he puts in a shift. Like, he's never complained once. He was put in a lot of bad spots. I mean, he was paired with Eric fucking Dyer, who I don't even think I saw him play in the preseason. Who wants Eric Dyer? I'd give him to Luton. You don't even got to loan him. Just let him go. See you later, Eric. Because if there's
another Matt Doherty case there.
If there's one
just rip it up and then take him.
One player on our whole squad who cannot fit in Ange's system, it is Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer seems like a great guy, but he seems like he'd fit real well at Everton, or like a Stoke. I feel like he could really do some good stuff for Stoke.
So Stoke.
Send him up north. See what he does.
Hilarious, bro. You know how the homie Jacob feels about Eric Dyer.
Whack him in a back four, just like two wing backs, him and Cameron Carter-Vickers. I think Celtic probably win the league again. But for Tottenham, no, I do not want that man lacing him up. Not even on the bench do I want him anymore. Great guy. Great guy. Great servant of the club. But
It says I like Per Schurz, another big Dutch cornerback. Would you like the pairing? To pair a couple of Dutch center backs together, kind of like how we did the whole Jan and Toby got the two starting center backs for the Netherlands. What if we were to get the two Danish dudes? Well, I guess Dutch would be Netherlands again. Yeah.
Toby and
Yeah.
Jan were Belgian.
Dyer to Wrexham.
Honestly, this is going to be a hot take, right? I cannot stand Wrexham the same way I cannot stand Sunderland, because I cannot stand the documentary clubs. I hate the way that Americans talk about soccer.
Soccer.
So there's a reason. Like I've been watching a lot of the Women's World Cup, mostly on mute. The head commentator is a woman. I have no problem with that. There are a lot of great female commentators out there. Alex Scott, to name one of them. But I refuse to watch a football game if it's being commentated by an American. I'd rather watch it in Spanish. I don't speak a lot of Spanish, but I can get by. Like, I don't like these clubs because I get the same thing every 4 years because I grew up as the weird half American, half British soccer guy, to where it's like you get every 4 years, like, oh yeah, the US is the best country, and then they lose to Belgium in the round of 16, and then it's like the world's over and nobody gives a shit anymore. I cannot stand that level of like soccer fan. And so I hate all those fucking documentary clubs. I hope Wrexham get relegated. And I like Rob McElhenney. I fucking love Always Sunny, but God would it give me a rod on to see them get relegated this year.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's a hot take for sure, bro. Yeah.
I will say about Per Schurz, it was brought up by somebody. Per Schurz, I don't know anything about him other than the fact that he used to play for Ajax, but he has been a Champions League winner in a lot of my FIFA career modes. So I wouldn't mind seeing him. Wouldn't mind. Absolute legend. For Swansea City and FIFA 19. Oh, Rolls Royce.
Yeah, when I play FIFA, I usually play with Mansfield Town. I've talked about this a couple of times already on my podcast. I play with Mansfield Town, and that's actually like my League One team or my League Two team that I guess my lower league team. It's the Spurs, and I like the Stags. But I recently started watching these video vlogs of this dude that vlogs his trips to the game. It's called a channel called The Mansfield on YouTube here, and I've been watching a lot of this season's vlogs of theirs, bro, and definitely dope. Small club in Mansfield, so I hope to go see them when I go see the Spurs. But anyways, we have an important game coming up against the Red Devils of Manchester, the United side, not the City side, eh? You excited about the game? First, before we get into the game and start, start digesting with masterclass analysis from Kyle Whiteley here. What type of a turnout are you expecting from the Milwaukee Spurs? Are you expecting a full house? Are you guys expecting a good crowd? Because the 10:30 games here in Denver are definitely a lot more. It seems to draw a lot more people just because it's a little bit later. The place has their breakfast or their full menu open, running at that time of the morning, so it's just a lot better, right? And it lets for other people from around Denver, the Front Range and the outskirts to voyage on down to Denver and be able to watch the game. As far as Milwaukee Spurs, are you expecting a big turnout, bro?
Oh yeah, I do got to check the weather real quick because I am hosting a birthday party afterwards for my buddy. But let's see. Oh, it's gonna be perfect. Low is 62, high at 85, sun all day. We're gonna get a lot of people in that, John. There are gonna be a lot of people there, and it gets rowdy. You've seen it a little bit. When we did the cruise last year, we're gonna pack that place out. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be one of the matches that's Spurs fans only. I mean, we got the sign, but we never really be like, hey, fuck off, unless it's a big six club, because that's the matches that people come through, especially an 11:30 match. I do have to say, though, given recent information and rumors coming out, that for context, I'm 6'4" tall. Lived on the south side of Chicago for a couple of years. I'm big as fuck. If anybody pulls up to that pub in a Mason Greenwood kit, I'm going to jail. I will cart anyone wearing Greenwood. And Sam Greenwood for Leeds, I'll give him a pass, but it's going to be a look. They're getting a look.
That's funny.
No,
That's a good one.
We're gonna pack the place out. I'm gonna send you some videos for your little match day vlog. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
there you go. You guys heard it. Milwaukee Spurs will be part of the match day vlog this weekend. The only reason, this weekend also too. Sorry, Kyle. Before you continue, we have this event here in Denver called Tacolandia, right? Tacolandia, and it is all of the so here, the main way I've heard them described is they call them roach coaches, right? Which are like the taco trucks or like the food trucks. So they're gonna have food trucks from all across Denver and Colorado, the outskirts. They're all gonna come into the Civic Center Park, which is downtown in front of the Capitol building, and they're all gonna be giving out tacos, right? And so I'm going to be going with a few members of Colorado Spurs. So I will definitely be vlogging about my experience at like this all-you-can-eat fucking taco joint, right? And so I'm pretty stoked about that. So sorry, I didn't mean to go sideways on that. But Kyle, what are your thoughts about the game coming up, bro, against Manchester United? Now that I know you don't want to see any Mason Greenwood fans or anything like that, how do you think we're going to pan out against these Red Devil pansies?
I think we're going to win, largely because I saw Wolves, a team who are wank. Fuck me, are they bad? They stink. They toe to toe with them, with brand new goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And look at the lineup for them. Yeah, I mean, Bruno Fernandes is still going to look like the ugly duckling from Chicken Little. Anthony is just going to spin like a dryer. Lissandro Martinez is the same height as a Smurf. Luke Shaw is the only player in the Premier League who's bigger than me. Casemiro is going to get sent off with a straight red. Wan-Bissaka has 2 left feet. I think we win this game by 2 goals. I'd say it's going to be a 3-1 affair. But no, I think I have warm feelings going into this game. If we can defend a little, if Cootie starts and doesn't smash his head against a brick wall like he did in the previous game, I think we might even keep a clean sheet. Just as long as any of Eric Dyer, Sergio Reguilon, Davinson, I don't mind Sanchez anymore. Toney and Dombele, Brian Hill. Who else do we have at this pub or at this club? Any of the dog shit players do not even sniff coming out of the field. I don't want them touching a blade of grass. We could win by 17.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, it is all dependent on how many tries the Wordle gets done for me. I put some bad juju out there. I tweeted before the Brentford match that we might win by 17 because I got the Wordle in 3. I'm going to try for 2, but if not, I'll purposely get it wrong and go for 4. I think it's an even number thing. I would love, because Mason Mount is shite as well. He is the most overrated player in the league. If they put out a midfield pivot of McFred, we could win by 30. We could put up a football score, an American football score on it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so this is actually what the opposing fans will be greeted by when they walk into the Red Lion pub here. It's a sign that says Tottenham fans only upstairs, and I believe that's the actual same one because I've seen it.
That is
so yeah, that is so yeah, that's dope, bro.
What do you think about the match?
I'd be excited. I'd be excited to watch a game like that with you guys. I know how crunk you guys get, and I know how crazy Mort can get with this champagne at the end of the game. All you guys, bro. So it's definitely gonna be a fun place to watch the game. I think we're gonna win as well. I think it's gonna be a hard battle, bro. If it depends on Casemiro if he plays, because he adds something to that team. You know that he's a Champions League winner. You know, he's not a pushover. So I definitely would worry about him. If he doesn't play, then I would feel a lot better. I think we might want to give Sarr some minutes this game. I would definitely start him on the 11 instead of on the bench. And I'm ready to see what our team. I'm ready to see what our team looks like against a team that everybody's hyping up. Manchester United have been getting hyped up all summer long, you know, and I think it's unjustly so. I don't think they're as good as people tout them to be. So, and I want Tottenham to prove me right. You know what I mean? I want them to shut. I want them to to shut everybody up and do the damn thing this weekend. So, and I'm hoping the team, like I said earlier, I don't think we need to find a like replacement for Harry Kane, but for sure our team needs to score goals so that we don't have to think about that void, right? So I'm hoping the goals are spread out around the team. I would hate for us to rely on just one person. So I'm hoping a few people get a couple of goals. That would be dope. Colin, you said a football score, an American football score. I kind of get that feeling about any game, like I'm so pumped about this Ange system that I think any one of our games could literally be a high scoring game. I mean, we all know that we're susceptible of getting scored on 4 or 5 goals if we really want to as well. So we need to be putting them in just as we're letting them in. But look, Parker took off. He said his internet wasn't working, so I guess that does that. If you haven't already, you guys, please drop a like on this video. It is much appreciated. Definitely subscribe if this is your first time coming to the channel. We appreciate you guys coming in. Let's see. I'll pull up these couple comments before we wrap it up. Easy, bro. Martinez might be small, but he plays like a 6'5" tall beast. We need Sonny to show up, and I hope Paul starts at right wing. We should have a chance. So there you go. YK coming in with his prediction. Sonny, we do need Sonny to start showing up for sure. Hotspur says our 2 top goal scorers so far are both cornerbacks, center backs. Good stat, good stat. Bobby K says only like for like replacement for Kane is Kane. I agree. Not happening. We need to build the whole squad and get a lot of different people contributing to the goals, which I think would be synonymous to an Ange Postecoglou system. And I'm eager to see that happening. I don't want to spend a bag on Vlahovic thinking he's going to score 27 goals and be the answer to all of our problems. I don't want that. Center back, right back, LOL, I agree. So look, man, we kind of touched on it a little bit in the beginning. Milwaukee Spurs has actually rebranded their logo. My homie will have to Milwaukee Spurs. If you guys just follow him at Milwaukee Spurs on Instagram, stay up to date on all of his posting. My man is posting on a daily basis. He posts, so there's always stuff out there for Milwaukee Spurs. And as far as here on the channel, definitely look out for the match day vlogs. I want to incorporate different official supporters clubs from around the United States. Even I want to branch out to across the world, but first I want to start here around the United States. And I've actually recruited my homie here, Kyle, to blog me some stuff of the Milwaukee Spurs this weekend. So you guys will get a glimpse at that. If you guys haven't drop a like on Parker's pitch. We just released that yesterday, and we will definitely be hopping back in the cycle of streaming at Thursday spot. Kyle, any last words from you, my homie, before we close this joint out?
I don't think so. I went this whole podcast. We didn't talk about it. I have refused to talk about it, and I won't. But you keep talking about this Harry Kane guy. Who's that?
Yeah, he was this guy that used to play with us for a long time, right? He was a kid from Chingford. He's a record goal scorer. But he decided, and rightly so, he left, and he left and he left a big bag for us, so we got a lot of money. I think it'd be a lot worse, Kyle, had he left next summer for a free. Then I think we could start throwing him into the fire. But he left, and we got a good bag. Now it's up to the board to spend this money wisely, because if not, man, he's gonna have a lot of heated people breathing down his neck. And I'm talking to you, Daniel Levy. I'm talking to you directly. But no, go ahead, bro. Anything else you wanted to say before we wrap it up?
No, not particularly. Congratulations on season 2 of the podcast. Looking forward to coming to chat with you guys more and more throughout the year. Hopefully, you start doing your little lives again on Instagram, so I can hop in all fucking drunk as shit from the patio at Red.
Bro, I called you. Hold on now. I called you after the game this past weekend.
I was busy.
And I went live. And I even went live. So we could have made it happen, homie. But we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen for sure this week.
Oh, for sure. We might get a dual call from the car, because I got to get back after the match to cook chicken tacos.
Yeah. Well, please, bro, try and record as much as you can. I'll shoot you a message before the match. That way you can get some content for me, bro. So we can put it out to our viewers, homie. You're just as much as a Mile High Hotspur as I am, dude. So I appreciate you always hopping on with me. And everybody in the chat. Let's see here. Bobby K says, would have hurt more if he left in January for 25 or Chelsea in the summer for free. Perfect way to wrap it up. I totally agree, Bobby K. I agree. This is why, we sent him off the way we did. And I think it was even said in I forget where I read it, but he's going to come back sometime throughout the season to be able to say goodbye to his mates and to say goodbye to the fans and stuff like that. But we'll see. But look, for my co-host Parker, who is having difficulties with his internet, all the way to Todd Josh, who joined us for a little bit. Go to Spurs Live. To my homie Kyle here from Milwaukee Spurs. My name is Leo Coys, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys next week, same time. Come on, you Spurs. Get it.